Wednesday night again. Ha! Dr. Model Stein here. It is good to see everyone this evening. I hope you have had a great week so far. We have been busy as we can be shipping all these great new model kits out to you. What have you picked up this month and added to the stash? So many great kits. No, too many great kits to choose from. It is certainly such a great time to be a modeler. With all the new advances in technology, it is just amazing the level of detail that can be achieved these days. I wonder if I could perhaps take some of your models and take them back in time with me and enter them in the competition at some of the early days of the National Model Convention. What do you think? Can I borrow your kits? Ha! It would be really great if I could take them back in time to a contest that you're actually attending and show the younger version of yourself how spectacular a model builder you will be later in life. Really, I just get blown away at the quality of the work each month during the show and tell. Last week was such a blast for me. Well, tonight Brandon has several new releases to take a look at and talk about. I have had a look at many of these new kits and I can't decide what I want to build next. A plane, a ship, a tank, a figure? My goodness, there are too many choices. Well, I better go find my jar of pickles and lemon slice for my tea so I can kick back and get ready for the show. You take it easy now. Model Stein signing off.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for being here with us. It is Wednesday night again, and here we are at Squadron Live. It's been a very busy week here at the shop, at the warehouse, whatever we call this crazy place that we all hang out every day. But really, really good stuff. Just the fourth quarter of the year is, of course, always our busiest time of year. And that's not just for us. That's the case for many businesses. And as I like to say quite often to people that I'm talking to, we're in the toy business. And if we're not busy this time of year, we should probably consider a different business. But it's really good. And thankfully, a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about the last few weeks, even months to some extent, all of these new kits have finally started arriving. You see, I've got a stack of them here that we'll look through here in just a few minutes. But it's been a really good thing. I've got Jeff here with me tonight. We'll bring him on in just a minute or two. Tom will not be joining us tonight. He had some things he had to attend to this evening, but perhaps we'll see him again next week. But one of the big things that I've just been noticing, Jeff brought this to my attention a few minutes ago, and I don't know exactly why or for what reason they did this, but it looks like YouTube has changed at least in my streaming software, it has changed the names that it gives you guys. So prior to tonight, you were able to, or I was able to see your name, but tonight I am actually seeing your YouTube name. So this is going to make saying hello a little interesting. Some of you guys I know, at Ken Clark 12989. I know that's Ken Clark. So how are you, buddy? But some of these at two hands, I see who you are. There's only one guy signing off from the villages of the White Sands each week, but this new way of doing the usernames is going to be a little interesting, and I'm going to have to relearn who everybody is all over again. Apparently, hopefully they'll change that or make an option for us or something. But Wayne's with us tonight. David's in here with us, and David, I'm glad that you liked the What's in the Box. I had been doing a few What's in the Box videos, but it's been well over a year since I've really done many of those. I did I think that Gerald R. Ford might be the only one I've done since I actually moved to Ringgold. But this Border Models, the Sherman kit, the M4A1 version of Border's Sherman, it came in and it was just too cool not to open it up. And I was looking through it and I thought, well, as long as I'm going through this, I might as well turn the camera on. So I'm glad you like that format. I have a lot of other kits that, could go by that same format. So glad you like it. I may use that same format for a lot of other stuff. So let's see. Rob Jansen is in here. Good to see you tonight. Looking forward to the new Avia from Edward. I do not know when that's going to hit pre-order, actually. I have to take a look at that. Jeff, it's good to see you this evening. Let's see. Pandemic's in here. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, I know who Pandemic is. That's Jason. I can tell from he's talking about the Wildcat, and I notice your logo. This is just wild, man. Everybody's names are different tonight. So if I act like I don't know who you are, forgive me. Oh, man. I'm going to go ahead and bring Jeff in here with me. How are you, buddy?
I'm just as confused as you are.
Yeah, it's like we got a whole new crowd tonight. Isn't this cool?
Hey, that's, it's, I think maybe until we can get it sorted out and get it figured out, I think the first post that everyone has to make when they log in is to give us their real name or their screen name or something so we can.
Yeah. Hey, John Doe from Alabama here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Max is talking about being ready to renew his Eagle Club membership. So that's coming Friday, guys.
Yep.
Friday, the 31st, we will post the Eagle Club. I don't know, what do you call it? Benefits. We're going to post what you're going to get by having an Eagle Club membership for this year. The price will be posted. We'll start taking orders for it. Anybody who was an Eagle Club member this year, you're going to get a little discount to renew your membership and carry that on. So that'll be a little extra perk there. But that's coming Friday. Are you going to sign up for the Eagle Club, Jeff?
Of course.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
What was that old commercial? I'm not only the hair club president, I'm a member. I mean, it's like,
man.
The only thing that keeps me from completely spending my paycheck on model kits every week is my wife. Cause there's this little thing called the mortgage and, car insurance and things that we kind of have to take care of. But
yeah.
If I had my choice, you
have to keep the house, otherwise you don't have anywhere to put your models.
This is very true. Yeah.
Frank says it's party time, and it is indeed, buddy. It's good to see you tonight. We got all sorts of goodies to look at.
It's been a pretty crazy busy week.
Oh yeah, it has been. One thing, now I shared this on the Facebook group, but I'll pull it up here. That you guys always get to see Jeff and I, and many times you get to see Tom on here, and every once in a while, we had John on here one night, and every once in a while we have some other guys on here. You've
Jared
met other Jared and Jackie, but you've never seen any of our other guys at and this is not all of us, but this is I guess what we don't really like labels and positions and whatnot at Squadron.
It's the crew.
Yeah, it's the crew, but this is more specifically your shipping department, if you will. I think on the Facebook group, I made the comment that these are the guys and gals that are responsible for getting your model kits in the boxes and out to you. Unfortunately, we don't have enough staff to actually drive the post office and the UPS trucks, but if we did, we probably would. Did Jeff, did you happen to see Mike Moore's post on our Facebook group this evening?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
I got to pull this up. So he, let's just get this pulled up. All right.
Are we diving headfirst into controversy here? Or?
No. This is nothing that any of us don't already know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is so he was not. Mike's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. Since you like talking about being the national chairman of the Madison Nationals, Mike Moore was the chairman of the 2019 Chattanooga Nationals.
Yes.
So you may know him.
Oh, anyway, actually quite well. In fact, he and I sat down for a cold adult beverage on Saturday afternoon at Madison, and he leaned back in his chair and he said, "Well, are you ever going to do this again?" And I said, "Oh, hell no." And he goes, "Good man."
Well, he posted this and he actually went to the trouble of doing a little Photoshop or whatever program he used to show this. And he was not complaining about Squadron whatsoever. He placed an order. We got it shipped out, and hopefully in a reasonable amount of time. We've been kind of crammed and slammed this past week. But anyway, we got it out to the post office. But look what the post office did with it after they got it.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
So you see us, Squadron, over there on the left.
Yep.
It goes from Chattanooga to Nashville, goes to Charlotte, and then from there, just look. I mean, they were literally driving around in circles for days until they finally delivered it to him in Greenville.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is, and unfortunately, this is pretty common these days. Not so much with UPS, but with the post office, it's just, and it has nothing to do with the Chattanooga. They got it out of Chattanooga pretty quick. Sometimes that's not the case, but in Mike's case, they got it out of Chattanooga, but I don't know. It's just bad. But
I had an original Scale Colors order that I shipped to a customer who was in Ohio.
Okay. So
we're going Milwaukee to Ohio, which is about the same distance as going from Chattanooga to wherever he is.
Okay.
And so you would think, okay, grade school geometry or geography, it would go from my house to Milwaukee, Milwaukee to Chicago, Chicago to whatever major city is closest, like
his local hub.
Yeah, it might go to Cincinnati or Columbus or Cleveland, wherever. And then from there, it would go to his house. That box went from Milwaukee to Chicago, Chicago to Dallas, Dallas to San Diego, San Diego to San Francisco, San Francisco to Denver, Denver back to Chicago, Chicago to Atlanta, Atlanta to Cleveland, Cleveland to his house. And it was priority mail. So I'm thinking to myself, I paid $13.70 to ship this box, and they probably burned $10,000 worth of jet fuel flying that box around.
Oh, I'm sure. And this one actually happens to us more often. Like if it happens once, it's kind of a funny story, but this particular one happens quite often.
Yeah.
We have customers in Florida that order from us. We're in Georgia.
Yep.
They're in Florida. You would think that when it leaves Chattanooga, it goes south, right? We have had it routed, and I'm not joking, through Alaska. And that has happened multiple times over the last 20 years of me doing this. Somebody screwed up and put it on the wrong truck, but I'm telling, and it's not every day that happens, but I'm telling you, I get that phone call at least 2 or 3 times a year that, hey, I'm in Florida. Why is my package in Alaska?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but nonetheless, Until it hits the post office, this is the crew responsible for getting it in a box to you guys.
So my wife and I are flying back from the Nationals in Orange County, California, back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And the lady said, we had a nonstop flight. And she said, is there anything that I can help you with? And I said, yes. I said, we're going from Orange County, where whatever the airport was, to Newark, New Jersey. But could you ship my bags to Alaska? And she said, well, why would I want to do that? I said, because that's what you did the last time. Needless to say, she was not happy with me.
I bet.
I think I sat on the wing for most of that flight.
And guys, you got to forgive me in advance. I'm skipping through the chats. There's so many chats in here, and I appreciate it. So hello to everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
There's just a few. I'm just scrolling through, and if I see one that just catches my eye, I'm going to pull it up. Ron Smith's asking when the USS Smith is going to be out.
He just wants a ship that's named for him. That's all.
Well, that's fine. But Ron, just so you know, they're here. Well, they should be. Watch me find it saying out of stock. Yeah, there it is. Yes. So the USS Smith, they are in stock and they are ready. And Jeff, this next question, I'm actually going to get to throw it over to you. Let's see. I got to figure out where I'm looking at. Recon Models wants to have some information on Squadron pigments.
Oh, well, that one's easy.
Yeah, well, first of all, they are available. They are not all on the website yet. We're working on that, just trying to get pictures. There's more of them there today than there were 2 days ago, actually.
Yep.
And it's the Vallejo pigments. But if you type in pigments and then choose Squadron colors, you get them all. We got 44 of them showing on the site now. And Jeff can give you a little information on this because this was originally a Scale Colors product also, just like the paint. And just like we did with the paint, we took his dozen or 2 dozen colors and expanded that to a total of 50 colors. Of course, as you see, there's 6 of them left for us to get bottled up and on the site. But give us a little background and information on these pigments, Jeff.
So a long time ago, long
in
before I was
far away.
Yeah, pretty much in my mind, at least. I was using pigments from a company that shall go unnamed, and I used a wetting agent. I think it was like an odorless turpentine or something, and it reacted chemically with the pigment, and it turned like a brown pigment purple. And it ruined the model, and it was really kind of strange. And I stopped using those pigments. So I started looking around and actually found a company that provides pigments to the oil paint industry. And I bought a little sample set of their pigments. And when you mix oil paints, by the way, you're using huge amounts of pigments. And I obviously didn't need that many. So I started putting them in little jars and giving them to my friends. And lo and behold, everyone was raving about it. So that was when, going back to the early 2000s, War Pigs was the pigment brand. So we launched War Pigs. I ran that for probably a good 8-10 years, just selling pigments. And then we eventually got into doing the washes, and then from the washes we did the paint. So when the paint business really took off, pigments kind of took a back seat, and they kind of went out of stock for a while. But when I give you a bottle that's, of that size, it's not a recurring item. You buy one set of pigments and you're set for life. So
unless you're Danny Haney, because then you need like a bottle every week because you do so many models.
Yeah. So when you and I were in negotiations to bring me on board, this was one of the product lines that, I kind of added in there and said, the guys who, and there are still guys out there who have War Pigs and who love them. And are they say that they're the best pigments that they've ever used. So lo and behold, there we are.
Here we are. And if you and Recon, if you go to, if I remember how my new site setup works, if you go to the Squadron Colors page and you click on the paint chart list here, we actually have all the pigments, all 50 of them listed here on what the part numbers are, what the name of it is, and a kind of a little color sample. And while I'm talking about color samples, remember, guys, these are just computer generated samples. I mean, gray is gray, dark gray is dark gray, but these are not true to what the colors are. It's a very close representation, but these are not to be considered exact, because everybody's computer screen is going to look different anyway.
Yeah, and we have to remember too. Now pigments, the pigments that we have, they come in about the Tamiya sized bottle, about yay big. That goes an awfully long way.
I should have one here, but I don't.
And some of these colors, obviously, historically, people have used pigments for weathering, but there's an entirely different set of applications that you can use these pigments for. You can actually use them to tint paint if you want to. You can use them as washes. You can use them as filters. You can use them for pre-shading and post-shading. So if you have a hard time getting the hang of post-shading in aircraft and dry applications of pigments, you can use it. For example, the green pigments and the yellow pigments, if you put that over a base color and you kind of dry brush it and kind of scrub it into a panel, you can change the tonality of the paint in very, very slight ways, so that you can alter. So there's a lot of it's almost like a dry modulation process.
Right.
So there's 101 different uses that you can use. You can mix this with a clear if you're looking for a specific translucent color. You can mix pigments with a clear gloss.
And Jeff's got a I don't know what we're calling it yet, but like an instruction or a how-to or a white paper or an informational page on how to use pigments that as soon as we get all 50 colors posted and start promoting these things, we're going to post that information just as a kind of a instruction manual, if you will. If you've never used pigments, just some of the different various ways that they can be used. So
now we stuck with the artists' names for the colors. So burnt sienna is different from burnt umber, which is different from raw umber. And the reason for that, I had someone message me and ask me, what color would I use for Vietnam dirt? You don't have a Vietnam dirt pigment. And I'm like, well, are you talking about the Mekong Delta? Are you talking about the Central Highlands? Because one's a brick red and one's a chocolate brown. So, and then soil composition is different all over the world. I'm sure you could find red brown dirt in Russia, and Africa sand is probably the same as San Diego sand. I don't know. So what we decided to do was just call them by their artistic names, by their artist names, and then allow you to just look at the colors and determine on your own how you can use that color.
And you can see here, we have so many different variations of colors. And Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. I know I've done it myself. You can mix these colors, and so there's virtually no color of earth that you can't create with a out of the bottle or a mixture of one of our 50 colors. So
correct.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Jeff. That is very neat. And while we are on the subject of paint, before we move on to this stack of models behind me, I've got to mention this and show this picture off real quick, because for the first time in a year,
1 year,
yeah,
we did it in 1 year.
Took 1 year. So when Squadron bought Scale Colors from Jeff, it was almost exactly a year ago. It was November last year.
Yep.
He had, give or take, 150 colors, 140, whatever it was. and we started expanding that, and we came up with our full list of 440 colors. And so, I talk about my wife. This is my wife, Crystal. She came up to the shop last week because she wanted to hand deliver the last batch of colors. And so she came and stocked the shelves herself. And for the first time in a year, the rack is 100% full, and we have every single color matched, bottled, and ready to go. It, it's, I don't know. It probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but to Jeff and and especially to my wife, this means a ton to us because it's been a lot of work. She has mixed well over 60,000 bottles of paint by hand now.
Yep.
And it's just a cool thing. So looking at this picture, this means a heck of a lot to me and Jeff. And
yes, it does. And to think that, if you look at that first rack on the left there, not the Vallejo rack, but the scale colors rack, if you go to the very top row and you count over 12 spaces, where the black and the white are next to the red there on the top row, those are the first 12 colors that I launched this company with 9 years ago.
Nice. Very, very cool. Well, it's neat. I'm really happy that everybody that has tried the paint so far, for the most part, has loved it. And I think I mentioned last week during the show and tell that we're putting together a showcase on our website of models that have been painted with this paint. So if you've got a model that you've built with this paint, email that over to us. We're going to try to get that page launched at the beginning of the year. It'll be neat. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
We thought it was going to be easy, didn't we?
Well, I did. You didn't know how crazy we were going to get with all the different colors. Hey, and here's the fun part. So somebody in the chat earlier was asking about some stainless steel and some metal colors and things. Now, a year later, stage one, phase one is complete. 440 colors, we're done. We are kind of taking a break on paints. She's still making paints. She's got more help now. We've got a pretty major manufacturer here in town helping us do big batches, and I mean it's all good stuff. But in the new year, we're going to move on to phase two. Figure out some metal colors. Ron Smith, he's got us hooked up with some World War I colors. I mean, I told Jeff halfway jokingly, but mostly serious when we started that before we get done, we're going to have over 1,000 colors, and we probably will. Not this year, probably not next year, but we're not going to stop. That's my point. We're
eventually going to run out of historical colors to do, unless you want to start getting into automotive colors, and I'm scared to death of automotive colors. Maybe railroad colors.
There's no limit. We can always come up with something, but we'll see how it goes. But that is in the future. Right now, we've got a bunch of stuff that's here and it's ready to sell. So let's take a look at some of this. A lot of you guys have been asking when we were going to get the ARMA shipment. They're here. The 48 scale P400 Airacobra.
P39 export version of the P39. If you're wondering what a P400 is.
Yes, that is true. And I thought I brought. Well, I guess I didn't bring it, so we're going to look on the site. The
guys are still on the paint here, so I guess we gotta, let's see, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so Jim, yes, I currently have ready to go research for about 30 or 40 World War I aircraft colors. And that's the albatross greens and the grays and the purples and the falls mauve and some of the British stuff and the French stuff. Yes, we have all of that, and it's coming in phase 2.0, 2.5.
Phase 2 or 3. We haven't decided if phase 2 is going to be more historical colors or if it's going to be metal colors, but it'll either be phase 2 or phase 3.
Yeah. And Veritas, the silvery gray is actually a color called Have Glass Gray, and we now have that color out. I actually saw this paint applied to an aircraft this weekend at a local club show. And the guy that's actually building the model says that it is, while it lacks the metallic sheen of Have Glass Gray, that the gray is perfect. And his plan is to put a clear yellow over the top to kind of give it that metallic
that's a good idea.
sheen. So Have Glass Gray is available, and it is on the website.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh,
No.
here it is. I'm sitting here looking, and it's the next kit on the stack. Arma's new 72 scale Mustang.
P51.
I knew I brought it, but yeah, those are here. And after we go through and look at these, there's a couple of these that, we can open up and see what's in them if we have time.
Oh, that reminds me. The last inbox you did was the Dolly, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. I've got one of those, their new one, that A150 here. That's one that we're going to open up in a minute and take a look at, because that's cool. Now, Tom is not here tonight, but he's like googly eyed over this kit that I just threw on the floor. This is Dora Wing's new Beaver, and this is the float plane version.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tom's all excited about this. And also, I didn't bring it, but Tom was talking about that new 24 scale ICM gangster car.
Yes.
The newer, whatever the other version is. We got those in too.
Excellent.
Yeah. So he's,
Is that the one that has the violin case with the Tommy gun in it and the BAR?
Yes, I believe so. Because the first one was the one with the bullet holes on it and all the machine guns and stuff. So, but anyway, this is cool. Let's see. All right, here you go. I misspoke a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked a few weeks ago if there was am I saying this right, Jeff? Gigant?
Yes.
Okay.
Gigant. Messerschmitt 323.
Yep, 323. And this is an E2. So I incorrectly said that there were not any available, completely forgetting about the fact that Great Wall Hobby has them, and we just got their newest version of this. Now, it is 144 scale,
right.
But still, it's a pretty big plane, or a pretty big kit, because this plane is just massive. Kind of
Larry did one in 72nd scale, and it was even more massive.
Oh, that was huge.
I haven't seen, maybe I have seen that kit out recently.
The cool thing about this one in 144 scale, notice this comes with the half tracks and the tanks and stuff.
Nice.
The little 144 scale vehicles are kind of cool.
Excellent.
In a little bitty kind of way. But that's here, and while we're on Great Wall Hobby, have several of you asking if they did their 48 scale A10s. Well, they have followed up now with 72 scale versions.
Excellent.
Yeah, and this is one of the two variants of it that are both available now. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of has become a normal thing with a lot of these companies. Tamiya, for example, we just got these back in stock. We are out of them for several weeks. They're F35 and 72 scale. And, they did these in 48 scale, followed up with 72. They're F14s, they did them in 48 scale. They're about to release those in 72 scale.
Yep.
So a lot of these companies do that. Trumpeter used to do that quite often with their ships. They would do them in multiple scales. And I suppose they still do, just not quite as often anymore.
I think it's probably because now they're, computers are cutting the molds,
right?
Instead of it being done by human beings.
That's true. Yeah, it makes it a little easier to do that. All right, here's something that we don't usually talk about car models on here, but Mobius has released their new Mercury Comets. This is one of the two versions. I brought this one because I thought the box art was kind of cool.
Don't want to buy me a Mercury.
But these are here. They've got I forget what the other version of this is. Let's see.
And this is a new kit?
It is definitely a new release. Whether it's new tooling, I am not 100% sure, but Mobius, ever since Mobius got bought up a few years ago, Frank sold it to the guy that owns Pegasus.
Mhm.
So Pegasus and Mobius are kind of the same company now. Mobius has not released quite as many kits as they used to quite as often. So I don't keep up with them as much as I used to, but you can see there's one of the releases, the one I'm holding here, and then this is the other boxing of it,
Nice.
Pro Touring version. So
The problem with cars is that, you can do a whatever, and then one company does a 64 and another company does a 65 and
Right.
another company does a 72, and it's a little hard to keep track of.
Well, it is, and with as many cars that are out there, people come in the shop all the time. Do you have a whatever? And it's like, you would think as long as they've been making models that every car has been made, but when you consider how many models there are, times how many year models, times how many trim packages, I don't think we'll ever see every single car model.
And
made.
even the new stuff, like as I had a suicide Bambi destroy my car a couple weeks ago, so I decided to go out and look for a model of my car. Nobody makes a 2014 Camaro,
right? And you would just think that would be kind of a pretty standard model kit that Revell or somebody would have, but
they make a 2010, which had a different, front fascia and rear bumper and taillights.
Right.
They make a 2016,
but not a 14.
Make that one that's right square smack in the middle. So
Chris Hearn says it's the same with aircraft. With as many model kits that come out, you would just think that every plane, and it's not just aircraft, it's every subject. You would think that by now everything has been made, but it's pretty far from the truth. Snowman models used to be teamed up pretty heavy with Tacom. You would get some Tacom kits and see the Snowman label on there, where they're doing more kits now on their own, I guess is the way to say it. They've got these Zeppelins that have come in. This is one of the two different boxings of it. It's kind of neat.
Is that a repop of the original Tacom Zeppelin kits?
I'm kind of thinking it is.
Okay.
Because of their relationship before. If you look at those old Tacom kits, it had the Snowman label on it. So I don't know what the agreement was there, but these are 700 scale. Kind of neat stuff. And this one is neat. So you've seen all the big 35th scale turrets, like the 5-inch 38s. They've got them in 72 scale now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So 35th scale is really neat. But in 72 scale, that opens you up to a little bit of possibility with, because there are a few ships in 72 scale.
Well, where it's going to be a big market is there is a whole subculture of ship modelers that do RC ships in 72nd scale.
That's a good point. Yes, so this could be used on that.
And,
absolutely.
And, if I'm building a fiberglass hull destroyer and putting all of this time and effort into it, any opportunity that I get to just put a plastic part on top of it and not have to scratch build it.
Right.
And then you've got consistency. If you're doing a destroyer and you get 5 turrets, hey, they're all identical. Boom, 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 boom. You're good to go.
That is true. Well, lastly on Snowman, and then we'll move on. We showed off a couple of weeks ago when we did that What's Coming with you were here and Tom was here. They've got a couple of half tracks. I guess I need to go back like this. This is one of them, and the other one is and I don't have it here, but it has all the little rocket launchers on the side of it.
Stukas du Fuß.
Okay. Yeah, what you said.
I say so?
Yeah.
Gesundheit is the proper response, by the way.
But those are here. So Snowman's kind of really got
they got something going.
A wide variety of you got Zeppelins and turrets, and they've got some other things too, little 700 scale ships. So it'll be interesting to see. Most of these companies kind of do one thing, but they're really kind of branching out, doing several different varieties. V Hobby, here you go. I'll go into your wheelhouse for a minute, Jeff.
Okay.
With ships. V Hobby, I had a guy ask me today on something. There's so many places we get messages now: email, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, talk this, talk that. I mean, there's probably 24 places we get messages, so I don't remember where he messaged, but he was asking when the V Hobby Worcester, I guess that's how you say that.
Worcester.
Worcester, USS Worcester, CL 144. These are finally here. This particular one is their deluxe version. They do all their kits in deluxe and in standard, and I would assume that by now we all know what the difference is, but the deluxe version differs from the standard in that it has photo etch, 3D printed parts, resin parts, things that would generally be considered aftermarket are all included in the box. But they have that one, and if I brought it like I thought I did, oh, yeah, there it is. Their new Independence, the CVL.
Oh,
yeah, 700 scale. So this Dragon had one of these many years ago, and it was a great kit. But just taking a quick look in this, it's really nice. Without sticking it side by side to Dragon, I couldn't, and I wouldn't want to tell you which one is better. That's for you guys to decide. But it does look nice. The only thing, and Jeff, I'd like to hear your opinion on this. In 3/50th scale, hull plating.
Yeah,
a lot of time. 200 scale they can get away with it. 350 scale usually it's considered overscale.
Yep.
How you like some 700 scale hull plating?
Well, sand it all off.
Yeah, it's just it. I don't. You can't see it in this video. I'll have to take some pictures sometime. But it's. I mean, it literally looks like bricks. So I don't know why they did that in 700 scale. I mean, if you scale that out, I mean, you're talking about a canyon between the two plates.
Yeah.
So,
at that point, and I've done it on a few 700 scale kits. I don't build 700 very often unless the subject really intrigues me. That hull gets puttied up. Right. And it gets sanded down, and at the very most, I will leave just the shadow
right.
of where those panel lines were to kind of over the paint with the paint over it. It kind of really subdues it to the point.
Well, if you really want to show the hull plating, really the only way to even get away with, especially in 700 scale, but even in 350 scale, the only real way to get away with it is with your paint. And it's the same concept. I think it was last week we were talking about the natural metal finishes on the bombers, doing the different colors for your pre-shading.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine doing that, doing what they're doing with these on the airplanes. It's
and Ron brought up a good point, because he has been a proponent of this for forever and ever. Yeah, hull plating on 350th ship, if you're going to do it accurately, is 0.005 of an inch, with the average welded plate being 1/1000th of an inch, 1/1000th of an inch. I mean, in that instance, is it even worth doing?
Yeah. It's just a matter of, at the end of the day, it's your model, and if you want to have that over exaggerated, that's cool. But anyway, it's on the model, so sand it off or enjoy it.
There was a Japanese battleship kit that was done recently in 350th, and I don't remember the manufacturer. Even it may have been Congo or whatever.
Okay.
And the hull literally looked like it was made out of Legos.
Oh, you might be talking about Hasegawa's Nagato.
And I took one look at it and said, I'll wait for somebody else to come out with it. I'm not going to invest the time, or I'll just pick another subject and not invest the time into trying to.
I think it was that Nagato. I think that was one of the very first kits that tried hull plating, and I stand to be corrected. I think they got so much backlash for that. I think when they issued the Matsu kit, that it was different. I don't know what they did to it, but then because the last version of that kit that I saw, it wasn't terrible. But I remember the very, very first release. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
I would, to be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather have a smooth hull. Now I'm not talking about armor plating for you know, like when you look at the big five,
Right.
when they're bulged and they've got 3 feet of armor plating
Sure.
on this. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual hull plates and weld plates. Even when you look at photos of the real ships up close and personal, you can very, very faintly make out where the plates were welded together. And a lot of that too boils down to resistance and drag. Most of those guys, if plates were when the ship was welded together, there was a crew that was following along, grinding those seams down, because you don't want stuff, hanging out and slowing the ship down. Ken makes a good point. You can do some really good panel line work with pencils.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
I'd rather have a smooth hull and then add that plating myself, either
As
with
opposed to
paint
having it
or,
overdone.
yeah, as
Okay.
opposed to having it overdone.
All right. Well, now we're going to go. So I gave you something that you love, ships. Now I'm
Okay.
going to give you something that you don't love, the what if stuff.
No. Come on now.
I'm joking with you. You just know I love this stuff. So how about a 72 scale mech tank? This is Model Collect's Fist of War series.
Okay.
And their Fist of War series is largely based on the 1946, the war continues on, Hannibal, all that kind of fun stuff. And they've done a pretty big range of this kind of wacky stuff. They've done it in both 35th scale and in 72 scale, and this is the latest installment in that series. A lot of it is purely science fiction like this.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I've got no problem with that. I mean, I think it's cool. It's just, the prototype stuff and the, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike it. I just think that from I say it, but from a purist standpoint, there's a lot of other things that we could be doing other than stuff that is just fantasy.
Well,
but I understand there's a niche for it,
My and I'm just making fun, just having a good time. But my response to that is always, well, where did they manufacture the Millennium Falcon?
Well, did I ever have I told the story of the Millennium Falcon?
The kid that said his dad worked on him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, so they do a lot of this purely science fiction stuff, but in their Fist of War series, they also have some of what a lot of times is referred to as paper tanks.
Paper tigers, yeah.
Things that were sort of kind of talked about or conceptualized or whatever that, this might actually could have been had they continued on. So they got a whole, and I'm not familiar with this specific one, but they've probably got, 10 or 20 of these
now
these kind of things in this series.
These series of tanks were actually a real thing.
Yes, they were.
And they were designed, the whole series, and I think they started with E10 and went all the way up to E100. E10 being a tank very similar to like the Hetzer. The E50 was a medium tank like the Panther. E75 was kind of a medium to heavy tank, and then the E100 was a super heavy.
Right.
But the whole E series of tanks were designed for commonality of parts.
Right.
So like they all use the same tracks and they all use so there is some correlation with that.
Yeah. Well, it's a really good crossover from reality to not reality with their Fist of War series. So it's neat. And I was laughing because Michael Mitchell just told us exactly where the Millennium Falcons were built. So,
and then Ron, it was built at Industrial Light and Magic.
Oh man. All right. Next up, this is not a new kit, but it is a restock of something we've been out of for quite a while. Verifire's 700 scale Montana is back.
Another what if.
Yeah, exactly. And these are always cool for me to show off because they, many moons later, they are still rocking the Blue Ridge models in cooperation with logo on this box.
You should at least get them to change it to the Squadron logo.
Well, and I'm sure I've told the story many times about us helping them do this. They thought we were nuts when I told them this. They said, "What should we do next?" And I told them, and they thought we were crazy. But here we are.
I thought you were crazy.
I mean, that's probably been 10 or 12 years ago, and they're still one of their top selling kits. So I'm very glad that it worked out for them, because I certainly love that ship. X Scale, that new brand, relatively new brand from Ukraine that's doing airliners.
Yep.
This is one of their latest, DC-8.
United Airlines.
Yeah. So and we got a couple others in today too, or well, not today. They had them on the rack for me to bring tonight, but I filled the truck up, my back seat, and I was like, well, everything else will just have to wait. All of this new stuff, by the way, if you go over to the site and click here to see the new arrivals from the week, this page, there's 85 so far. This is all the stuff that's come in this week, and we're adding them to this section as we get them pulled out of the boxes. And I've got a little video in a minute I'll show you.
Offloaded, counted, and checked in. Yep.
But all this stuff is here. It's just too much to even look at right now. But so that's here. Let's see. Oh, all right. This one's cool, Jeff. I like this.
Everything's cool.
Everything is cool. I say that too many times. Zimmy Model, the company who now owns Kitty Hawk, the company who owns the tooling for the Atlanta class kits, who have put the San Diego out, and they've created this Aotori model brand. So they do Aotori models for their ships, and these are back in stock, by the way, San Diego's. And while I'm holding the San Diego, people are asking me, when are you getting the deluxe version? Because this is the standard version. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a deluxe version. Right. Now, I'm not going to say that as a definite thing, but when Verifier produced the Atlanta, the guy that worked at Verifier, one of the partners that paid for this tooling, I don't know what happened. It's not our business, I guess, but they got sideways and they split. That's when Zimmy Model was created. Well, he owned the tooling. He took it with him. My assumption is that he doesn't own the photo etch. So I could be wrong, but we keep asking for a deluxe version of this, and he keeps saying no. So I don't think we're going to get a deluxe version, at least not anytime soon. So if any of you guys are on the fence about buying this, holding out for the deluxe version, don't hold out too long. Grab your standard version, and we can help you piece together some photo etch with gold metal and our upcoming 3D stuff and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Zimmy Models, he's starting to slowly but surely put out new kits under his Zimmy brand. And this is one of the latest ones, and you can see why I like it. It's sitting on a railroad track. But this is his newest, let's see, Pack 40. Yeah, okay, the Pack 40 on this thing, you get, I think you get one car. Yeah, you get one railroad car. Yeah, there you go.
That's on the French Lorraine chassis.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's actually a German gun mounted on a French tank chassis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Lorraine.
It's just
cool.
It's really cool. And if you I need this. I need to finish Dora, but I need this on the train line. So those are neat. I got too much stuff to look at. Real quick, we'll mention these. These came in a couple of weeks ago, but I never really mentioned it. We just got some more in. Speaking of Pegasus models, Mothman. So this is kind of cool. 1/8 scale, I think. Yeah, 8th scale, just like all the X Plus kits and all that.
I think I used to work with that guy. Sorry, Clarence.
Speaking of 1/8 scale and X Plus, I mentioned it last week. The white box Vampirella, she's back. It's exactly the same kit, but they did change the box up ever so slightly, only by adding some build-up pictures of it.
Yeah. I'd be divorced if I worked with her.
You might be dead if you've read any of her old comics.
True, yeah. Well, if one didn't kill me, the other one would.
All right, Tacom. Their Henschels, the HS 129s. Finally got those.
Buster.
Oh, yeah. And they offer this one. They got the B2. I think the other one's the B3. Right. And we have a big box, which is interesting because since these are 48 scale, Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, the big box for this thing includes both the B2 and the B3 of the plane. You get 48 skill pilots, seated pilots, actually. So that's kind of useful.
And a Panther.
Yeah, that's the weird part. The Panther from what's the name? I can't remember the U-Star. Couldn't remember the brand name. So U-Star is kind of like Snowman worked.
Yeah, it's a very nice kit.
Yeah, well, kind of like Snowman was working really close with TACM, U-Star is as well. So, so that's the big box. You get all that. It's a really good price. We got them for $77 right now. But both of those planes, I don't know where the heck the other one is, but they're both available separately if you want them.
The B2 version is the one that the old Airfix kit was originally. It had the 50 millimeter gun pod underneath.
Okay.
And then, or I'm sorry, the B3 version had the 50 millimeter gun pod underneath, and then the B2 was just a standard ground attack cannon in the nose. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's neat stuff.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Real quick, I'm saving the ones I want to talk about a lot here for the end. We got a couple more. Rye-filled stuff is here. Just some, I hate to say just run-of-the-mill armor, but, they just got a whole slew of stuff. A new Striker, a new version of the JLTV.
Yep.
Let's see. Trumpeter. It's like helicopter week.
Okay.
Oh, this is just two of them. We got, I think there's 3 or 4 different ones, but this one is cool. 35th scale Huey.
Oh, a B model.
Oh,
Short
yeah.
door. Yep.
Yeah, this is neat. And then also they're doing all these in 35th scale. You got the
Whiskey
Super
Cobra.
Yep. And I forget what the other ones are, but again, on that what's new page, flip it over to Trumpeter and you'll see all that. Just all sorts of cool stuff. We did get those 116 scale leopards in.
Yep.
They were all gone already. They're all spoken for, but I took a look at one. They're pretty neat. So we'll get some more in.
That B model Huey, my daddy started flying those.
Oh, really?
In his first tour in Vietnam, he flew B model Hueys, and then he ended up flying Charlies and Deltas later on. But yeah, I might have to pick myself up one of them because all I have is the old Revell kit.
Well, we got them. Get your Eagle Club membership Friday.
There you go.
And put an order in. You get a little discount.
There you go.
Amusing hobby. We got a bunch of amusing hobby stuff, but I grabbed one of them. Just something weird and different. This is an unmanned vehicle.
The URAN.
Yeah. So
you ran away.
Amusing hobbies doing a lot of like the brand newest of the new stuff, like even the prototype stuff that's not even in service yet. They're just putting out kits of this brand newest stuff. So,
yep. Dave, he flew slicks on his first tour, and then he flew heavies on tour 2 and 3.
Magic Factory, their 48 scale Corsair that they came out with.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a new version of that. This is the British version.
Oh, yeah. And that's 48 scale.
Yep, 48 scale.
That's an awfully big box for a 48 scale kit.
Well, let me look. Their first one they did actually had 2 kits in the box.
Okay. Does that have the clipped wings as well? I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry.
What? No, there's only one in the box.
Okay.
So, but you say it's a big box.
It's got a lot of parts. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely full. So,
Yeah.
Oh, and that's cool. It includes the canopy mask.
Yeah.
I guess you see that more and more these days, but let's see.
So does it have the clip? It doesn't look like it's got the clipped wings.
No. Now, what is...
The British had to clip the wings of the Corsair because
You're freezing.
Uh-oh. Am I? I don't think I am. Now you are. Uh-oh.
Are you there?
I'm here.
You're froze.
Uh-oh. Oh, well.
Are you back?
I don't know. I don't know if I was ever gone. So we'll ask
right.
ask our guests who was freezing, me or Brandon.
You're
Brandon's the see Jeff. Yeah.
I'm freezing?
Yeah, you're the one who's locking up.
No. I'm
Yeah,
here
yeah.
now.
Yeah, see, everyone says that I'm fine. It's Brandon. See, look at that. That's your fault.
All right. Well, am I here now?
You are. So anyway, the British clipped the wings of their Corsair because it wouldn't fit through their elevators.
All right. Now, where you got to take me to school here. Where are you talking about? Is this on the ends?
No, the ends of the wingtips. The regular Corsair has nice rounded wingtips.
Yeah. Okay. Then yes.
And the British actually clipped them and made them more
now that
square.
I know what I'm looking at, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they do have the clipped wings. There you go.
Yep. So that means it is actually different.
Thanks, Stephen.
What did he say?
No, Brandon was locking up. Jeff was fine, which is debatable.
No, you. Well, you were locking up on my end, but
yeah, well.
Either way, that's what we get when we're talking about a British Corsair, right?
Yeah, well,
but yeah, you got your clipped wings and nice decals, and only one kit in the box.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because I could have sworn the original version of this that had two in the box. I don't recall the box being that much bigger than this, but maybe it was. It had to have been.
I have, and as everybody knows, I'm a 32nd scale guy when it comes to aircraft, but I have two Tamiya Corsairs over there. And one will be done as U.S. Navy, and the other is going to be done as Fleet Air Arm with the clipped wings.
Okay.
So there's a really excellent book on the Corsair that they have at the Fleet Air Arm Museum, and I think it's KD 431. The British had this Corsair, and they used it as a training aircraft for mechanics and whatnot. And it got painted numerous times, and then somebody at the museum started peeling off the layers of paint that had been put on it in the 50s and 60s, and found that the original paint that was over it was almost pristine. So they started like surgically removing the paint layers. KD 431, thanks, Dave. And they have this like time capsule Fleet Air Arm Corsair. So my goal has always been to replicate KD 431.
Huh. All right. Well, I've got 3 more kits. Well, 4. We got a big ICM shipment in, and a lot of the it was everywhere. It was just all sorts. So I just grabbed this, and this is their new Dornier 217.
Oh yeah, Night Fighter.
Yeah, 48 scale. So
another unique aircraft that, the Dornier 217 was a pre-war design, and they just kept kind of putting bigger engines on it and things of that nature, and redesigning the aircraft to try to improve its performance. Eventually, it was outclassed by aircraft like the Ju-88, but they had a lot of them, so they pressed them into service as a night fighter, and they actually worked really well, because they could fly along in the bomber stream at the same speed as the bombers.
All right.
And they were big enough that they could put radar and things like that in them, and load them up with guns. And the 219s or 217s rather were very effective as night fighters.
Well, this one looks nice. ICM
too.
Oh yeah. You can have a field day with your airbrush with that.
Absolutely.
So I've had several people asking this week about ICM, because if you saw my email, I guess it was Monday, they have finally announced, and I say finally because they first talked about this a year or two ago, but they've kind of been busy and preoccupied. But the Hamden is finally coming out. and it is part of their November releases. So I sent this email out Monday talking about this, and got a lot of replies. People saying, "Hey, just to let you know, ICM got bombed, and not sure if you're going to get these." So if you don't know, you don't know. But so ICM, they posted on their Facebook group and wherever else they post things that their factory did get hit by a Russian missile, and it hit right next to it or between the
Right.
buildings or whatever, and it tore half of their facility up pretty much and destroyed it. And that happened back in August, actually.
Right.
But they just didn't really want to come out and say that. Didn't want everybody thinking ICM was going out of business or anything like that. So they've been, the past couple of months, been working on rebuilding, and they have. We talked to Valeria yesterday, I think, and she said that they are almost finished rebuilding the walls. They are all, in fact, alive and still working, and this kit is in production, and they will be ready to ship to us in the middle of November. So fingers crossed, we should see these by the end of November or the beginning of December. And ICM has made the statement, hey, how can we help you? But just keep buying our model kits, and that's all they ask. So we're hoping to send them the biggest order that we can for these Hammonds. They have been very excited about this because, and Jeff, you'll have to chime in on this. I don't think there's been another 48 scale Hammond. I know Fondery Models made one, I think, many, many years ago, but there's not really been another 48 scale Hamden that
we don't count the Fondery Miniatures kit as a model kit.
Well, okay. Well, throwing that one aside, then there's never been one unless I'm just forgetting about one.
Yep. So I'm not responsible for the label that was put on it, but when I was editor at Fine Scale Modeler magazine, we got a Fondery Miniatures kit in for a build review, and their logo was FM, like the radio frequency. And one of the other editors at Fine Scale said that Fondery Miniatures, the FM did not stand for Fondery Miniatures. It stood for blank mess.
All right.
So
well,
there's never been a viable kit of this aircraft until now.
Well, and looking at these pictures that they've given us, it looks fantastic.
Exquisite. Yep.
Now, one of the other things that that ICM has posted, and I had a picture. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Due to here's the picture. So because of them getting hit, a lot of their stuff, their box art.
Yeah, I love this. I love this.
Boxes, instructions, just stuff sitting around. It's their factory. They got stuff sitting around, right?
Yep.
So when the missile hit, a lot of stuff got damaged, and certainly some things probably had to be trashed or whatnot, but some things were just slightly damaged. Mm-hmm. So instead of throwing things away, so here down on the bottom right, you see that little punch. That's kind of a hole in the top of the box.
Piece of shrapnel.
Yeah, piece of shrapnel hit it, and instead of throwing these boxes away and having to spend money to reprint them, they decided to make up these little stickers and put them on there. Packaging damaged by Russian missile debris, and they're sending us the models as is. They. Obviously, if they're damaged beyond repair, they're not sending them. But little minor damage like this, if you get a model kit from us, an ICM kit that has this sticker on there with a little damage, it came from ICM that way because of what happened to them. So just,
I think Ken Clark just summed it up. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I'll be honest with you, if I picked up a kit that had that sticker on it, I don't know that I'd build it.
Yeah, well,
because it kind of becomes a, and
collector's item.
Yeah, and you and I both know Valeria personally, so it kind of has a little more substance, a little more meaning.
Yeah. I remember when she was at Nationals with us up in Madison. people started asking her to sign their models. I was like, hey, I got to get in on that. So we've got their 72 scale Ghost of Kiev model kit, and she signed it and, said, to Russ and Brandon and the Squadron team.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool. So
Yep.
I'm glad that they're still carrying on. They're still making new kits. Very excited about this new Hamden kit. And if you haven't ordered one yet, make sure to get those on pre-order because, like I said, we do want to send them the biggest order we possibly can because they're very, very excited about this kit. They're excited about all their kits, but every once in a while they do a new tool of a kit like this that hasn't been kitted by anybody else before, and they just some things they're more excited about than others, and this is at the top of their list.
The pride that they put into their work, because every time they release a kit, they outdo themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And we have to remember too that ICM in this iteration has not been around that long.
Right.
They don't have 100 years of model tooling experience that they can fall back on, like a Tamiya or Hasegawa or Revell, whatever. So every time these guys put out a kit, they're improving their designs and they're improving their engineering, and they're doing some great stuff right now. They are about as cutting edge as anybody else out there.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool and very happy to see it. So grab one of those if you hadn't. Like I said, we should have them in December, if not before. Now, back to the things that are actually here that we can ship you out soon. These showed up, Jeff. You'll like this. 350th scale Royal Oak.
Royal Oak, the R class, or the Royal Sovereign class, however you want to, or Resolution class.
How many of them were in this class?
There were 8 that were proposed, and there were 5 that were built.
Okay.
And of the 5, only 1 was lost during the war.
Really?
However, they have a very unique. They had a very unique life. 2 of the ships, I want to say Resolution, or maybe it was Revenge, and Royal Oak, actually saw action at the Battle of Jutland. So they fought in the First World War. And then all 5 of the ships went on to fight in World War II. Obviously, Royal Oak being the only one that was lost. And as if you don't know, Royal Oak was the ship that was sunk at anchorage in Scapa Flow by Gunther Preen in U-47.
Okay.
So she's famous for being. It's second only to. I guess Royal Oak kind of holds the same spot in Royal Navy history as Arizona does and as Hood does. They were taken too soon, too quickly, under tragic circumstances. I mean, Royal Oak was sitting at anchor. Her crew was asleep in their bunks, and they put torpedoes into her side. She rolled over and sank and took her crew with her.
Well, it's interesting that it took this long to get a model kit of it, going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Talking about things that you just figure would have been a model kit by now. And
I think it's kind of forgotten because it happened so early in the war. So this is going to be obviously her World War II configuration. I don't know enough about the class to say that you could build Resolution or Revenge or Royal Sovereign or Ramillies. I know Ramillies got refits
out of this kit.
Out of that kit, you could probably get really close, because I would imagine all of the ships were probably in a pretty similar configuration right around 1939, 1940,
right,
41, and then as the war progressed, obviously they were upgraded and refit and things of that nature. You will probably not be able to do any of the World War I versions from this kit, but you could probably very easily do a pre-war or interwar version, 1933
Right.
1936, something like that.
Well, you know how Trumpeter rolls. If they're anywhere close, we'll probably see some of the other ships out of the class boxed up at some point.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And then, there's a misconception because I've had a couple of people ask me about this. Well, what about Repulse and Renown? At Repulse and Renown, the class was originally supposed to be the Renown class. They ended up calling it the R class, and the first ship of the class was Revenge, but she was renamed. She was supposed to be Renown, but she was renamed Revenge. Repulse and Renown are not part of the R class of battleships. They were actually battle cruisers. Repulse being sunk with Prince of Wales, and Renown surviving the war and being scrapped afterwards.
Wow.
So Resolution, Royal Oak, Royal Sovereign, Ramillies, and Revenge.
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring it back. I got 2 kits left, and these are the 2 we're probably going to talk about the longest. How about a unicorn?
Like a Willie? No, okay, never mind.
The Fletcher class USS Stevens from I Love Kit. Now, remember, guys, there are 2 Stevens kits, 200 scale and 350 scale. I'm getting a lot of emails with a little bit of confusion.
Right.
I Love Kit, just like Hobby Boss, is another brand that comes out of the same factory that Trumpeter is produced at. So Trumpeter brand is releasing the Stevens in 1/200 scale.
Correct.
That will be the second 200 scale Fletcher kit that they have released, and we, fingers crossed, should be getting those probably in February, perhaps January, but after the first of the year anyway. I Love Kit has done this now in 1/350th scale. You can see rather small box. So,
Yep.
but
it's a 13-inch hull in the 350 scale.
Yep. But let's see. The one thing that I was curious about was being that it comes out of the Trumpeter factory. I was very curious to know if
how badly they messed up the paint callouts.
Well, yeah, that. No, I was
Sorry.
more specifically curious, and we're about to get the answer here. If they simply took the Sullivan's kit from Trumpeter, because Trumpeter has a Fletcher class in 350 scale too, the USS the Sullivans.
Correct.
And I was like, wow, and it just, I love my Trumpeter stuff, but that particular kit leaves a lot to be desired. And I was worried, like, wow, are they just going to use that same hull for the Stevens? Well, I can now tell you for sure, this is an all new hull. This is a new tool. Whether it's better or not, we'll look at it here in a moment. But it's definitely a new tool. Inside, it's stamped USS 350th Stevens. So, are they going to use this for other Fletcher class? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But this particular one is stamped Stevens.
The beauty of that is that if they did choose to do other Fletchers from that hull, the only thing that changes is the location, is the deck of the midship superstructure.
Okay.
Because they took the turret off and put a catapult there. So there's probably some minor changes between the torpedo stowage cranes and aircraft hoisting cranes and things of that nature. But for the most part, the hull and the superstructure and the turrets and whatnot, a way to look would be to look at the sprues that have the turrets. Does the sprue contain 5 turrets, or does it only contain 4 turrets? And is the catapult and the airplane done on a separate sprue?
Give me a minute to find them. They're all wrapped in styrofoam.
So if the kit has 5 turrets in it, and the catapult and the Kingfisher are on a separate sprue, then chances are they're planning on doing additional ships from that tooling.
Well, Oh, okay. I was like, either I'm blind or they're not on a sprue, but they are actually on their own individual sprues. They are
Okay.
one turret per sprue. So in this kit, you're getting
Four.
four. You're getting 2 bags of 2. So along that lines, I guess they could do whatever they wanted to as far as the turrets go. Now the Kingfisher. Oh. Okay, look what they've done. They're just giving you their aftermarket.
Okay.
They sell
Yep.
these separate as boxes, so they're giving you one sprue, this is cool because I don't know if you knew this, Jeff, but in I'm on the fence about whether I like it or not. All of the trumpeter packs of planes, we actually I got to take the time to go take new pictures of them, but they, traditionally they came like this, clear sprues.
Right.
They have changed them all. They're no longer clear sprues. They're in gray sprues, which they're easier to assemble, easier to paint, blah, blah, blah. But if you want that clear canopy, this is the only way to go. So this is cool that they're putting the original clear version of this Kingfisher in the Stevens kit.
Right.
But that's a separate sprue. You are going to get a photo etch set in this kit.
Okay.
So you're getting just the generic stuff. Let's see.
Did they give you the catapult stuff in photo etch?
I was gonna look. Yes, you got the catapult. You got looks like 20 millimeter shields. You got, of course, all your radars, your ladders. What is that? I don't know what that is. A couple little parts that I can't look like structural parts of some sort. Of course, all your handrails. On the back, you got a full set of rails.
Okay.
So just kind of what you would expect. Your director mounts for your directors. And then here's the, and I'm not going to pull it out, but you can kind of make out what's in there. This is your decals for all your deck, non-skid or whatever you call it. What do you call that?
Anti-skid.
Yeah, anti-skid. So they're doing that in photo etch, not photo etch, in decals, which I guess is okay because it beats the heck out of it being overscaled in plastic.
Yeah.
Now on that hull, where did I stick it? This is another one I got to do a what's in the box video of. Maybe I can do that tomorrow. The hull, Jeff, you're going to have to, and I know this is just looking at it, but you got to tell me, what do you think? You get it lined up.
Is there a nice little curve in the hull? Or is it kind of,
is it an ocean liner or is it a cutter?
No. When you flip it up and you look at the deck,
okay.
There should be a shear, and it should go from the bow all the way to the stern a nice gentle arc.
From everything you've taught me about Fletchers over the past few months, it looks pretty close.
Okay.
I mean,
we've given them enough drawings and blueprints to, that they shouldn't have any reason to get it wrong. But
what I want to see is, okay, so the deck piece, all right, it's so flimsy. It just
it's going to have to. The deck will flex to the shape of the hull,
and it does. It fits in there very nicely.
Perfect.
So I don't see any major problems with it. The hull plating on the side,
hull plating again.
Yeah, you probably can't see it.
Yeah. I can see it.
It's just massive. But as little as there is on a Fletcher, I mean, that's a 15 or 20 minute job.
Yeah. So what I would suggest doing for folks that are looking at the hull plating and whatnot, there are hundreds and hundreds of great photos of the USS Kidd down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She's still in her World War II configuration, albeit the end of 45 configuration. And there are literally hundreds and hundreds of pictures via Google search. Look at the hull plating. You can look at the hull plating from, you can look at a photo where it was taken 10 feet away from the hull. You can look at a photo where it was taken 100 feet away from the hull. They're overdoing the hull plating. They overdid the hull plating on the 200 scale Fletcher, which I'm working on now, because tooling it for add-on parts and detail parts. So take it with a grain of salt, you know.
I think it's. I don't know why the manufacturers do it. I mean, they know it's supposed to be there, and I think the limitations of how you can create a mold, it either has to be not there or overdone. And why they go for I guess perhaps, I don't know, but maybe they figure it's easier to sand it down a little bit than it is to add it from nothing. But we just keep seeing it, and it's a part of modeling these days, and it is what it is. But
Ron brought up a point talking about the USS Kid there, and this is the stuff that just irks the daylights out of me. They're repainting the Kid in measure 32, which is a dazzle scheme. The problem is Kid in her existing configuration wasn't wearing measure 32. So Kid was damaged in a kamikaze attack. She came back to the United States, and most of the ships that were scheduled for a major refit and or received damage and required major repairs got the emergency AA fit, which is the quad 40 millimeters, the twin 20 millimeters that Kid has. So she was receiving this rebuild, this refit when the war ended. When she came out of refit, when the war ended, she was wearing measure 22. And she's remained in that configuration ever since. So she went in with measure 32 in her old configuration. I just can't understand why they would take a historical artifact, paint it in dazzle, when the ship never appeared in dazzle in that configuration. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you know, if Trumpeter makes a Kid model, we'll probably see that configuration and paint scheme on the box art.
I mean, you know what? We say it's your model, paint it however you like it.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is the actual ship.
Right.
You know, that's like saying, let's paint the Titanic in, you know, NASCAR colors.
Well, I'm opening up the last one we're going to look at tonight.
I'm going to have to have a drink after this.
Well, regardless of what the subject matter is, it's the medium of which it's created that intrigues me. Yeah. So, you know, Dolly model, which has that very nice Arizona and the USS Smith that we talked about earlier tonight.
Yep.
They now have their A150 Super Yamato. Now, this is 1/350th scale. And yes, this box is only about 16 or 17 inches long. So you say, how is that possible? Well, we're about to find out.
Front hull and back hull.
Well, I think it's more than that. But so the Dolly models, their USS Arizona and their Smith, both feature a plastic injection hull. On the Arizona, you get a few more injection parts, the basis for the superstructure and all that you apply detail to. But then everything else is a combination of 3D printed resin parts, photo etch parts. You get a wood deck, you get all the, you know, the brass turn stuff, all that kind of stuff. This kit does not have an injection hull. This kit is 100% 3D printed, plus photo etch, plus turn brass and all that. But there are no plastic injection parts in this, or at least that's what I am to understand. We're about to find out.
Okay.
So in 3D printing, and Jeff, we know a little bit about this.
Just a little bit.
The 3D printers, they change all the time. They're getting bigger and badder all the time. But for the most part, to get the extreme fine detail that we all love so much, you're kind of limited to some rather big machines, but not big enough to print something like this. So according to these instructions, which, by the way, these instructions, this is a book.
It's a book. The Arizona is the same way. It gives you they give you a half an inch.
Oh,
of paper.
yeah. If any of you guys don't have the Arizona kit, if you're a shipbuilder, maybe you've built a Pontos set You know how crazy their instructions are? This is the same kind of thing. But according to the instructions, Jeff, you are correct. It is a front and a back hull piece, and it is split dead in the middle.
Okay.
So we're going to pull that out and take a look at it. I am interested to see how it mates up. Let's see. Well, it's kind of cool.
That's a big hull.
It is. Now, unlike a traditional resin hull, which would usually have been solid and heavy as a brick, this thing, oh, wow. Okay, all of their parts are inside the hull.
Well, hey, if you got space, that's how you make the box half the size.
I was trying to figure out how this box was so small. All right, so anyway, there you go. That's what I was going to say. The hull is hollow, and it's got supports on the inside running from side to side for bracing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at this thing. It's packaged well, that's for sure. Oh, this is like Christmas morning, man. Can't get into the presents fast enough.
That's when you just start ripping and shredding.
You know, if we weren't live streaming right now, this would already be open and my room would look like a bomb went off. But I'm trying to be semi-professional here with how I open this.
Dude, if you were to hand this kit off to like any ship modeler, there is no professionalism. It would be like just, be like me opening a cupcake wrapper. I mean, it's just stuff flying everywhere.
All right. Well, here are your two halves, and they are printed in a white, which, I mean, whatever. You're going to paint it. It doesn't really matter. But, oh, man, and the hull plating.
Did they overdo the hull plating again?
Yes.
Even in 3D?
Okay. Anyway, that's just to be expected these days. All right. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting and perhaps hoping for some keys of some sort, but it is like, it's not. It's flush.
Well,
so
is there a plug or something maybe that goes in the inside that works off the bracing?
Let me look in the instructions. There's not anything on the actual part that would lead me to believe that, but let me look in the instructions and see how they say to mate it up.
See, I'd make like a set of plugs that went in between the bracing, and then when you put them together, it kind of acts like a splint almost.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that you would need something just to. Oh, you know what? I bet it may be, Jeff. I mean, it may be when the hull goes on. They're counting. I mean, the deck goes on. They're counting on the deck and superstructure to hold it together. Maybe.
Ooh, that's a stretch.
That's not saying it's a good idea, but there's nothing in the instructions. It just says glue the two hull halves together. All right, so yeah, there you go. That's what we're supposed to do. Just glue those two hull halves together.
Okay.
You would absolutely want to come up with something on your own to
reinforcing strips on the inside or something.
The two parts, they do come together and join, so you could drill some holes through there and put some little miniature bolts to hold it together. You can do something, but out of the box, it's just glue it together.
Glue it together.
The good thing is it mates up pretty decent. It's definitely not perfect, but hey, we're modelers, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to be able to improvise.
I mean, it's not horrible. It's definitely going to be a seam line that has to be taken care of.
Well, the beauty of that is that our upcoming 3D resin welding kit,
that's going to fix that.
Will work perfectly for that, because after you glue the hull together, you put that liquid resin in there, you hit it with an ultraviolet flashlight, and then you sand it.
Oh yeah.
Then you have the same material that the hull is actually made out of, so you don't have dissimilar materials.
Well, this I'm getting excited as I look at this thing. I'm a sucker for weird stuff. And and not just weird stuff, but like
So you're
I
gonna
don't know.
build this?
Well, not right now, but
Well,
maybe.
you've opened the box, so you know how it is. You know, it's you
Can't put it back in the box till you build it.
you break it, you bought it, so you own this kit now.
There you
There
go.
we go. Yep.
Yeah, the turrets. So it's just really neat. There are all the parts are in 3D print rafts, so there's not going to be much I can show you tonight.
Right.
Just because, I mean, I can show you some print rafts, but how fun is that to look at?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun for me because I'm seeing them in person. But
yeah,
um,
same resin as before, Ron. Yes.
Yep. So no, it's very cool. You know what I don't see? Oh, there's a whole nother box. I was thinking there's no photo etch, but let's see what's in this little goodie box.
84 pounds of photo etch, like the Arizona kit.
Maybe.
I remember when you handed me the kit the first time. You said, "Here, what do you think of this?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's heavy."
All right, this is more turrets, superstructure parts, the deck. There's the photo etch. All right, I was starting to wonder. And I wonder if they give you a wood deck in this too. There is something sandwiched between a couple of pieces of cardboard.
Probably a wooden deck.
Well, I'm kind of hoping so because
they did that with Arizona, so
yeah. Well, it's got to be because the deck is smooth as it can be.
Yeah. Two hands. The UV resin for shear strength, I wouldn't use it to actually glue the hull halves together. I would use a super glue or a 5-minute epoxy, something that's going to have some tensile strength to it. But you use the UV resin to actually, instead of, like, dare I say, using Squadron putty or using a Tamiya putty or something like that, you use the resin to actually fill the seam and sand it. And the beauty of that is that if you use super glue, the super glue is harder than the plastic. So the minute you start sanding on it, you start taking away material from either side. Because you're using the same exact material that the hull is made out of, you're going to be sanding, equally. I've been using it for resin ship kits for a few years now and absolutely love the stuff.
Yeah, and using it for structure versus not using it for structure, it's kind of like a lot of us like Mr. Surfacer. You wouldn't use that for structural, but you use it for surface detailing, getting your smooth finish. It's kind of the same concept. All right, so it was a wood deck. Yep.
JL, deck. This is a what if IJN Super Yamato. It's basically the Japanese version of the Montana.
Yep. This Yamato features 4 dual 20-inch guns.
Correct.
Yep.
Instead of the 918s.
Yep. So it's it's neat, but you get I'm not going to open it right now, but there are quite a few sheets of photo etch in there. You can see how thick that is. You get your wood deck, and you also get your deck mask, which is cool. You put that down, do all your painting, then pull it up, and you can put your deck, because these decks are self-adhesive. Very, very cool. As long as we're talking about what if Yamatos, I do want to show this because it also came in and I forgot to bring one home with me to show you guys, but you'll just have to look at the pictures of it.
Yeah, I think it is the key.
This one is the key.
That is the key.
That's the key. This would have been, and I'm stretching here, but if they had actually built one, I think the A150 would have been the one because it was closer to what actually existed.
Yeah.
The key, and you know what? I can't remember. The fact that they both came out at the same time, I've been reading up on them, researching them, but Verifier does the key. Now, the cool thing about the key is this is a full plastic model kit, just like we're used to. Right. And we have the deluxe version, so you get all the goodies on it. But regardless of which version of the What If Super Yamato, We got both of them now.
Right.
What else was I going to tell you that showed up and I didn't? Oh, no, it didn't show up. But look at this. As long as we're talking about what if Yamatos, now this one is an absolute what if, like no questions about it.
Oh,
This is border models.
Yep.
This is what if the Yamato had not been sunk? What if it had? And based on this box art, maybe it's like, what if Japan won the war? Because I mean, isn't that the Golden Gate Bridge that it's going under? So this is 1965,
well,
according
they
to
do
Border.
call it parallel world.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Parallel World Universe series of model kits. So this is kit number 1 in their Parallel World. So I'm curious to know what other wacky ideas they're going to come up with.
1965. There's a helicopter on the fantail. She's got a tripod mast with some SPS type radar on the top. Gun missile tubes instead of her secondary AA battery.
I mean, I guess the concept here is, we updated and refitted the Iowa class. Maybe they would have done something similar with their Yamato and Masashi. So anyway, that is not here yet. This is amongst our new round of pre-orders that we just posted. This is coming, I hope, in January or February is when we're expecting those, along with a bunch of other stuff. It's like, hey, let's do the whole Japanese fleet and 350 scale all of a sudden between Border Models and Verifier. They've got, of course, that wacky thing, but real stuff. They got the Takeo class coming. They got the Congo class coming, and Verifier is doing the exact same stuff. Yep. I don't have box art images yet, but the one that I'm very excited about that Verifier has announced is they are doing a 350th scale Shinano aircraft carrier. Which
what's amazing is
great.
I'm aging myself, but everybody else in here is about the same age as I am anyway. I remember when the only Japanese kits that you could get in 350th was the Tamiya, Yamato, and Musashi kits.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, there were obviously you had, the Nichimo 200 scale and you had the old, the Nichimo 200 scale Yamato and whatnot. But in 350th scale, for the longest time, you could only get Yamato and Musashi. I think Tamiya was the first one to even come out with a destroyer. I think they did a Kagero class destroyer as one of the very first. And then all of a sudden it just blew up. And now between Aoshima, Fujimi, Hasegawa, Tamiya, there's just about all of the ships in the fleet.
Yeah.
Even the carriers, even the big fleet carriers that we never thought we'd see.
Right. Well, talking about carriers and kits that never happened, the Shinano, to my knowledge, is the last Japanese carrier that never got a kit in 350. Fujimi, Hasegawa, and I guess Fujimi and Hasegawa did most, if not all of them. And then Verifier did the Taiho.
Yep.
So now with Shinano coming out, you'll finally be able to have all of them.
Yep. Yeah.
I was looking, I don't know when this kit was made. It was probably not.
Jim says there's no Soryu in 350th. And I don't know if they did. I don't know if anyone has done Katsuragi or Amagi in 350th scale yet. I don't follow Japanese stuff.
Nobody did a Soryu?
Not yet.
Okay. I could have sworn we had a Soryu.
We have Zuikaku, Shokaku. Shoho is only available as a 3D printed kit from 3D Wild.
Okay.
So I don't think that one's been done in resin. And then Ryujo, Unru. There's a few that still need to be done, but.
All right. You were talking about the oldest kits. So there is a kit that I'm trying to find when it was made, and it was obviously so old that ScaleMates doesn't even list it. It was the model craft USS Wisconsin. Do you know the kit I'm talking about?
I do.
When was that? I mean, it's obviously it's not as old as the Tamiya Yamato, but
no, it's Oh, you're stressing my brain now. I'll have to look it up. I
This
don't.
kit.
Yeah, I don't know that it's ever really been considered a player
No,
in
but
the
it's
game.
no. I remember back when we started with Free Time almost 20 years ago. This kit was still available and we sold them, but it's long gone. But it just always is interesting to me. I'm curious to know when this kit came on board because, like you said, to me it was the only game in town. And then, of course, sometime in the late 80s, early 90s, that's when all the resin, you know, classic warships and Tom's Model Works and Gulfstream and all that stuff started coming out in 350 scale. And then shortly after that, I think Trumpeter didn't come on the scene until 2003 or four, maybe five, somewhere in there. When we bought Trident Hobbies from Decker, that was in '06. And when we made the deal and went up to him, Trumpeter had just released their very first 350 scale aircraft carrier. I think it was the Hornet, if I remember correctly. And I remember he had stacks of them in there, and we thought that was cool. But it was it was 2003 or four, somewhere in there, before even Trumpeter started making 350 kits.
I'm looking it up right. Did you look on ScaleMates by
I
some?
did, and I don't see it, but I may not be looking hard enough. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure out the timeline on 350 scale kits because that would be
There's
interesting.
Blue Ridge models.
That's back when we were doing the deal with Verifire. They co-branded their Iowa class with us.
Let's see here.
It just doesn't say anywhere. So I don't know. There you go, everybody. There's some homework for next week. Let's find out when the Modelcraft USS Wisconsin was produced.
Yeah, I've seen it and have never really placed any interest in it.
Yeah, I have no interest in it other than it's an old kit, and I'm curious when it came out. So we'll see. Somebody will figure it out before next week. Oh, all right. Before we go, this is the last thing we'll do. I wanted to show everybody the current status of our warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
I got a little video walkthrough. That, you know, everybody asks me, not everybody, a lot of people have asked me from time to time, hey, when are you going to do a warehouse walkthrough and show us everything there? And my answer has always been, well, I really want to get it all cleaned up and make it look really cool and get all our decorations up and get everything out of the aisles and have the shelves full. And well, I think I've come to the realization that may never happen.
No,
because we sell so much now. Thank you guys so much for the business. We really appreciate you. But we sell so much now that we always have stuff laying around everywhere. Orders in process. The shipping room always looks like the only time the shipping room doesn't look like a bomb exploded is on Model Club night every third Monday. And that's only because we got to move stuff out of the way so people have somewhere to sit.
Containers coming in.
Yeah. Used to when we first started this, back with Free Time Hobbies, we hardly got containers ever. Got a few, but now with Squadron, 4 years ago, we'd get one every once in a while. Then we started getting one or two every once in a while. And, but now they're like,
we had what, three this last week?
3 in the same day, 24 hours. Yeah, you saw that picture. We had 3 containers, FedEx, multiple UPS, all within 24 hours. And not to mention our private guy that runs back and forth from here to the Atlanta airport for our air shipments.
And what folks have to remember is that when a tractor trailer pulls up with a container, the longer that it sits in the dock, the more money we have to pay the shipping company.
Yeah. We get a certain amount of time to get it unloaded. So we get that stuff out.
So it's literally throwing boxes out of the back of the trailer, and they're stacking them anywhere we can in the warehouse to get the truck out of the dock because we don't want to have to pay him for an extra hour.
And especially, when was that? Was that Monday or was it Friday? Whenever the heck it was, we had a new reason to get the trucks out of there fast because there was another truck waiting to get into the dock. So it's a lot of fun. It really is. It keeps us busy. Here's the picture I posted on the Facebook group the other day. This was it is very, very rare, if ever, that we get more than one of these a day. And so the fact that we had all this happen all at the same time was kind of fun. The truck driver down there on the bottom, he was waiting in line. And these containers come in and they're floor stacked. They're not on pallets because we can fit more in there if they're floor stacked. And so the truck driver, he's like, "Hey, how long is that going to take?" I'm like, "Buddy, you see what we're doing? I don't know." And he said, "Well, I got a lift gate. Do you care if I just unload you in the parking lot?" So thankfully it wasn't raining that day. But anyway, so the realization that I don't think we're ever going to have the warehouse. It's kind of like when you own a house, you're never really done with it. There's always a project, and that's how it is. So I'm just, we'll start taking pictures and videos and just, obviously you guys know that we like giving you some behind the scenes. That's why we do this every Wednesday night. So this was about, I don't know, 3:00 or so today. We I don't know how many. Sometimes we get one, sometimes we get two, sometimes we get 3 or 4 trucks picking up. That was our last UPS truck for the day, loading up.
Now, keep in mind when you see these brown cardboard boxes, those all contain kits that need to be taken out, counted, and put on the shelves.
Well, and
in some
cases, you'll see Tom back here. In some cases, he's actually assembling the model kits. So and I'm going to do a video on this sometime, just to kind of a behind the curtains kind of thing. A lot of these model kit, actually all the model kits, you'll see our shrink wrap machines in a minute. I think I walked over there. All this stuff that comes in from these manufacturers, they come in, we got to take them out of the boxes, assemble the box art boxes,
my new office.
Drop the sprues in them, run them through the shrink wrap machine. There's a lot to it, and all these cases are slap full of sprues and boxes. Some of the manufacturers, they do assemble them for us and send them in. We still have to shrink wrap them. Some of them don't. Some of them we call it Trojan horses, because you never know. Sometimes you get a box full of broken down boxes. Sometimes you get full kits. Sometimes you get anything in between those two things. And it just depends on where it comes from, how we got it. Because you can imagine shipping broken down boxes is way cheaper. So we do what we can to,
Oh, look at all the empty shelves.
We just moved all that because we got 2 more containers coming in the next week or two, and some new brands. We had to make some room. So we're getting ready to stack stuff higher and deeper. And we got all the things on rolling racks, so we just move them around. If we need to get somewhere, you just shove stuff out of the way. I mean, we've got 20,000 square feet. Honestly, to be comfortable, we could probably use close to twice that, but that cost money. And the less we can spend on that kind of stuff, the better prices we can offer. And we're kind of used to being unorganized and having to climb over things. So
but all of those boxes, you'll see HK and those are all, for the most part, either components that have to be assembled or they're full kits that need to be then, as I said, opened, counted. And, a lot of times you get a big box and it'll tell you there's 12 parts in here, or there's 12 pieces or whatever. Those then get added into the system and then they get put on the shelf.
Yeah. So we're by tomorrow, we'll have, if any of you guys have any of these pre-orders for these things we've been talking about,
there's our Squadron colors inventory.
Oh, yeah. We should have all those pre-orders out by tomorrow, Friday at the latest. It's just covering up. If any of you guys have been to the shop lately, you'll notice that it looks totally different up in the front. There's Jared.
Hey, Jared.
We've moved a bunch of stuff out of the front. We're trying to reorganize. We really like showing off your guys' model kits, as you can see those cases there. And we've got we're going to try to get some of those big, tall racks and fit those in there, because that's what that front room needs to be. It needs to be a model museum showcase. We got all sorts of stuff, but we'll get it all decorated and shown off soon. It's fun. But yeah, Jeff, you're talking about that spot here if I can get to it. Yeah, this is the new 3D area that we've been talking about. And it may not look very big on this video, but it is. We've got enough room in there. If we calculated right and we build our work desks in there right, we got enough room for 150 of our printers in that room. So we're going to be covered up with some production hopefully soon. It's taken us a little longer than we might have hoped because, like everything else we do, we like to do everything ourselves. So we literally have built this ourselves. Tom's been helping. Tom, another guy named Matt, kind of leads the project. But the reason it's taking so long is they can't really get a full day of working on it in because we're always
busy pulling and packing orders, unloading containers and trucks. Yeah.
So, but we will. We'll get it organized a little bit more at some point, and as soon as it's as organized as I think it might ever get, I'll perhaps do a full, a real warehouse walkthrough. So, Oh man, Jeff. Well, that's all I got tonight. That was a bunch of stuff to look at.
Covered a lot of territory.
Oh yeah, and there's so much more coming in. We've got we've been talking about some Japanese stuff that's on the way. I don't know when it's going to get here. Hopefully November, maybe December. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed to January. But when that shows up, man, there's so many. If you like 700 scale, all that the Japanese love their 700 scale stuff. So there's all sorts of that. I don't know. Just you guys go check out the website, see what we've got. Make sure you get your Hamden on pre-order from ICM. That's going to be probably one of the more exciting releases here at the end of the year. That and the F-14 from Tamiya.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Tamiya, Friday, this Friday the 31st, the Pack 38 official release date is finally here. We've got them here in the warehouse, and we will be packing those up tomorrow and Friday, so everybody gets to get a shipment of those on release day. So grab one of those if you hadn't. Before we go, Mike says, best he can tell, the USS Wisconsin first came out in 1976. So, yeah. That's an old one, oldie but a goodie. All right, Jeff, I guess that's something we're going to have to do at some point is do a timeline of when all the 350 skill kits came out.
Well, I mean, for the longest time, we had the big, 8? New Jersey, Missouri, Tirpitz, Bismarck, Prince of Wales, and King George V, Yamato, and Musashi.
Yep. And Wisconsin, apparently.
Well, yeah, but that...
Hey,
I don't think anyone ever took that kit seriously.
Yeah, well, it's still a kit and it's 350 scale. So, All right. Well, so next week, we got a few things cooking. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've got the next issue of USN Camo next week, perhaps. Is that on the...
Yeah, the 42 Measure 12 revised.
Yeah, we did we did your first one that took us up through Pearl Harbor a few weeks ago, and we kind of told everybody that there was going to be episode 2 of that, and I think that's going to be next week.
Okay,
so that'll be exciting, and we'll see what else we come up with between now and then. There's always something, isn't there?
Always 101 things that need to be done, and only time to do 100 of them. So. And amazingly, everybody wants thing number 101.
Well, that's how it always is. We just keep on trucking, don't we?
Yep.
Well, guys, thank you all so very much for being here and hanging out with us. We had a great time. Looking forward to next week. Same time, same place.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for your time. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Talk to you tomorrow, Jeff.
Have a good night, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all take it easy, and we will see you again next week. Thank you so much.